The letter arrived on a Tuesday, slipped under our door like a coward's whisper. Final warning, remove illegal garden or face fines. It screamed in block letters, signed by some self-appointed HOA enforcer named Carl. My wife, Elena, laughed so hard she nearly spilled her coffee because, you see, Elena isn't just any lawyer. She's Supreme Court legal counsel, the kind of woman who makes powerful men sweat in courtrooms. We'd moved to Maplewood Estates 6 months ago, trading city chaos for suburban calm. Or so we thought. Our little corner lot, with its blooming wildflower garden, became our sanctuary. Elena, despite her high-stakes job, found peace tending to her roses and lavender. I'm Marcus, a freelance illustrator, and I'd sketch her in the garden, her hands in the dirt, her smile brighter than the sun. The neighbors loved it too, Mrs. Jenkins next door called it a slice of heaven. But the Maplewood HOA, they saw our garden as a declaration of war. Maplewood was a postcard of picket fences and manicured lawns. But beneath the polish lurked a petty dictatorship. The HOA, led by Carl, a wiry man with a clipboard and a Napoleon complex, patrolled the streets like a wannabe cop. He'd slap violation notices on anything that dared deviate from his vision of uniformity, a kid's bike left out, a mailbox painted blue, or, in our case, a garden that wasn't approved. Elena had checked the bylaws before planting. Wildflowers weren't banned. But Carl didn't care about rules, he cared about control. It started small. A note about unauthorized flora, then an email demanding we rip out the garden by week's end. Elena, ever the diplomat, sent a polite response citing the bylaws. Carl's reply, a photo of our garden with a red X photoshopped over it, captioned, "Comply or pay." I wanted to storm his McMansion and shove that clipboard where the sun don't shine. But Elena just smiled. "Let him dig his own grave," she said. The conflict escalated when Carl showed up at our door, flanked by 2 other HOA goons in matching blue polos emblazoned with HOA. He thrust a violation notice in Elena's face, his voice dripping with condescension. "You think you're above the rules. Lady, this eyesore's coming down, or you'll be fined $500 a day." Elena, cool as ice, asked for the specific bylaw. Carl sputtered, his face turning tomato red, and barked, "You'll hear from my lawyer." I nearly choked laughing. His lawyer against Elena, good luck, buddy. But then it got personal. Carl started tailing Elena. He'd park his golf cart across the street, watching her weed the garden, snapping photos like some low-rent PI. One evening, I caught him lurking behind our oak tree, muttering into a recorder about defiant residents. I confronted him, and he smirked. "Tell your wife to back off, or things get ugly." That was the moment I knew this wasn't just about flowers, it was about power. The twist came when Mrs. Jenkins, our sweet 70-year-old neighbor, revealed she'd been keeping a secret. "Over tea one afternoon," she whispered, "Carl's been extorting people for years. He threatens fines, then offers to fix them for cash." She showed us a grainy video from her doorbell camera, Carl slipping an envelope into his pocket after bullying another neighbor about their non-compliant fence. Mrs. Jenkins, a retired librarian with a spine of steel, had been quietly collecting evidence. "I'm tired of his reign of terror," she said, her eyes blazing. Suddenly, we weren't just fighting for our garden. We were fighting for the whole neighborhood. The high noon of this saga hit on a Saturday, when Carl escalated from petty tyrant to full-blown villain. He rolled up in a pickup truck, a giant illegal garden removed now sign in tow, and hammered it into our lawn like he was staking a claim. Neighbors gathered, phones out, as Elena stepped onto the porch, her blazer crisp, her voice steady. "Carl, you're trespassing. Remove that sign, or I'll have you charged." He laughed, a hyena-like cackle, and said, "You charge me. You're just a gardener playing dress-up." That's when Elena dropped the bomb. "I'm Supreme Court legal counsel. Carl, I've argued cases that'd make your head spin. You want to play lawyer? Let's play. The crowd gasped. Carl's face went from smug to ashen. He stammered. You're bluffing. Elena pulled out her ID, the Supreme Court seal glinting in the sunlight. The neighbors erupted some cheering, others yelling at Carl. Mrs. Jenkins, holding her phone, shouted, "It's all on video, you crook." Carl doubled down, screaming about community standards and disrespect. He grabbed a shovel from his truck, threatening to dig up the garden himself. That's when the crowd turned. Mr. Patel, a quiet accountant, blocked Carl's path. Kids started chanting, "Leave the flowers alone." Even Carl's HOA cronies backed away, sensing the tide turning. Elena, calm as ever, said, "One more step, and I'm calling the police. Your choice." Carl froze, the shovel slipping from his hands. The video of this moment, Carl's defeat, the sign toppling in the wind, went viral by sundown, racking up millions of views on X. The fallout was swift. Mrs. Jenkins' evidence, combined with Elena's legal muscle, triggered a neighborhood revolt. Posts on X exposed Carl's extortion racket, with neighbors sharing their own stories of his bullying. A petition to dissolve the HOA gained thousands of signatures overnight. The local news picked it up, dubbing Carl the HOA tyrant. Elena filed a restraining order, and Carl, facing mounting legal pressure, fled town. Rumor has it he's hiding out in a condo in Florida, dodging process servers. Our garden, it's thriving, now joined by wildflower patches across Maplewood as neighbors reclaim their yards. The HOA was dismantled, replaced by a voluntary community council led by Mrs. Jenkins. Elena and I hosted a block party, with kids planting seeds and adults swapping stories of Carl's reign. The viral video became a symbol of standing up to petty tyrants, sparking debates online about HOAs and personal freedom. Some called Elena a hero, others, predictably, whined about entitled homeowners. But the truth, it wasn't just about a garden. It was about fighting for what's right, even when the odds seemed stacked. Looking back, I'm still amazed at how a few flowers sparked a revolution. Elena says it's not about the law, it's about justice, and maybe a little karma. Carl thought he could bully us into submission, but he didn't count on a Supreme Court lawyer with a green thumb and a neighborhood ready to fight back. So, what's your take? Ever dealt with an HOA horror story or a bully who got what was coming? Share your thoughts below. Let's keep this conversation growing.